Hi, everybody. I'm Georganne Bender.
And I'm Rich Kizer.
And people always want to know, Kizer and Bender, are you two married?
Oh, we are.
Yeah, happily, just not to each other.
Thank goodness.
But we have been speaking partners for the last 31 years, and that's about as close as you can get. Rob, I'm going to start my slides here. So if you'll give me the opportunity to share my screen, here we go. And we're going to take off.
So people always ask us, what is it exactly that you do? And I tell them, I say, we're retail consumer anthropologists. And if you want to have a good conversation on an airplane, sit next to somebody and say, I'm a consumer anthropologist.
Right.
Oh man, either they're going to turn their back on you or they're not going to let you out without an entire explanation. But that's what we do. We study people and why they do and how they do the things that they do to support businesses.
So we study those most elusive of mammals,
Yes.
human beings in their natural environments. Rich and I, in fact, are known for our unique consumer research because we can speak to anybody who has customers, which is the entire world, right? So our unique research involves doing all sorts of different things, and certainly it's paid off because we're known for it, and also because since 2015 we have been named two of the top 100 influencers in the retail industry worldwide. So that's kind of cool. So here's what we do. Every year, last year we did them via Zoom, but every year we hold focus groups and we talk to customers about what they like, what they don't like, what drives them crazy in a buying experience in a store. Mm-hmm. Then we have one-on-one interviews where we sit down and interview individual consumers in depth. And we also do what we call intensive on-site studies, where we will go to a store, we'll become a fly on the wall, and we just watch what's happening all around us, what people pick up, what they put down, how they interact with the associates in the store, all of those things. And we share how consumers interact, and we incorporate that research into our presentations. And we do that unique research for every single one of our clients and their attendees. So it never ends.
And you know what? We love to have people come and visit us, especially the clients that we're going to be working with and what we have worked with. But if they're going to be working with us, it's their first time. It's kind of an education here in what we show throughout the rooms. But the first thing you would see if you came to visit us is a sign that says, when times are tough and bad,
things change.
Things change. And everybody looks at that and they go, oh, I like that. That's good. But I say, oh, hold on. As we go in through the building and start to go up to the office area, we'll see another sign. And that sign says, when times are bad, things change. And they go, good, things change. And they go, no, wait a minute. I don't know if I like that. We say, hold on, just keep coming. And we walk into the conference room and there is a huge sign, because I'm a sign junkie.
Rich loves signs.
And that sign says, 10% of your business is going to change every year, whether you like it or not. Yep. And everybody goes, wait, that's tough. 10%? That's exactly what I said. And you know, the truth is, in our world today, it doesn't matter what we're doing, 10% is going to be that kind of a rule.
Yeah, and 2020 sure changed businesses quickly, probably a little bit more than 10%, as retailers had to make changes. They had to, that word everybody loves so much, they had to pivot frequently to meet their customers' needs. And so what has happened is that we have a retail marketplace that consumers love so much that the things that they thought up in 2020 are going to be around for a very long time. Customers love curbside. They love BOPUS, buy online, pick up in store. They love that they can do personal shopping by Zoom or by FaceTime, and they love Facebook Live. We coached so many retailers through the pandemic on how to use those mediums. People who had attended our seminars, not just clients, people who had attended our seminars who called for help. We're in a pandemic, we can't go anywhere. We talked to retailers. And many of those retailers did better in 2020 than they did pre-pandemic. It's because we understand retail. We understand that it's important to improve not just the product, but the experience, right? It used to be about improving the product. Now it's something more. And that experience they have online, they have it on social media, and they have it in store. But Rich, customers have way too many choices today. They're on information overload.
You know, we show a slide in every one of our presentations, and we say, you know, when we talk about becoming consumer anthropologists, this is what we study. Now, here's a guy, he's trying to get a drink of water out of a fire hose. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Well,
But
I mean,
is he going to get a drink?
Yeah,
That's the point.
he'll get a
And the
drink.
answer is yes. I want you to change this to the paradigm of your business world. This is all the competitors you have all over the place. But he's only going to get a drink of water out of a little bit of that huge spray.
Yeah.
Why? Because that is the businesses that he likes. For whatever reason, they did wonderful things. And all that other water you see going by is wastewater. It's just going down the tube. And that's exactly what happens in business. We either love you or we turn you off completely. We become eliminators. And that's what that gentleman is. It's getting that drink of water. He is the perfect paradigm of our customer today.
Yeah, he's the guy who's focused on
Yeah.
businesses that are doing things to attract him, and he's getting rid of everything else. We talk about every topic that has to do with retail, everything from customer service to sales training to employee issues, digital marketing, social media, anything you can, events and promotions, anything you can think of. One of our favorite topics and most frequently requested is the one that we're speaking about today with you, and it's on visual merchandising, store layout, and design. Now, anytime Rich and I start a new store, do a remodel, a makeover, or if we're preparing to do this presentation, we look at three things. We look at the enablers. Now, you guys shop, so think about this. We look at the enablers. These are the things that make shoppers feel welcome. They're comfortable things. They make me want to stay and shop, and they make me want to come back and spend money again. Then we look at the inhibitors. The inhibitors stop the shopping experience. They're the potholes. They're the stopper shoppers. They're empty fixtures or messy aisles. They're all the things that turn customers off. And the third thing we look at are the impression points. And the impression points are the aha moments that happen all over the sales floor. You may have heard these referred to as moments of truth. And the average customer has 25 moments of truth at each visit to the store. From the time they get out of the car until the time they leave, there could be 25, 50, 100 of those moments of truth. So we teach retailers how to create and control the customer experience.
And you know what? We talk a lot about retailers, but it fits every business in the world, these principles that we talk about. All right, so let's just talk about first impressions and when I walk into a business. Let's go to Orlando, Florida. Orlando, Florida, it's Disneyland. Some of you have been
Disney
there,
World.
some of you may not, but as you walk into that park, it already starts. This is the greatest store in the world.
Yeah.
As you walk in, we watch people and they stop and they look and they go, oh, look at it. It's the Queen's Castle. I mean, the mouths are open, right?
It's not the Queen's Castle. The Queen is in England. That's Cinderella Castle.
Whatever. They go, look at the castle. And that's the first thing they see. The set in the mind is already starting to take place. Now, here's why we say that this is the greatest retailer and they do a wonderful job. Is that as you walk in and you're looking at the castle, the first stores you see, especially on the right, will sell you lotion and sunglasses and film and cameras and all the things you probably forgot. They're going to pick up that sale. They know that customers will veer to the right, look to the right, and that's the first strike point that they have. You know what else they do to you? See all those buildings that go all the way up that road? Those buildings actually, when you start going up toward the castle, get smaller. And if you doubt it, the next time you're there, go stand in front of the buildings and look at the size of the windows on the main floor. Then look at the size of the windows on the second floor. Then look at it, third floor. Third floor is 30% smaller than what's on the street. It's called forced perspective. The buildings go down, you're going up, which makes that castle look even larger. A first impression when you come to my store. So Disney's got it all down. But do you remember I said that you walking up toward the castle?
Yes.
You're actually going up. There's an incline. At the end of the day, they did it for a purpose. At the end of the day, when everybody's tired and your car is 500 miles out in the parking lot, and you got to walk, you'll see people walking going, this is not that bad. I don't feel like, I'm not so tired. What's happening? You're walking downhill. They want your first impression and your last impressions to be really good. Every business should live by that every day and every hour. But that's what they do. And the best things to take home are the big plush. And isn't it interesting that they're
Last store on the right.
merchandised as the last store on the right?
So Disney, like every good retailer, creates the situation and controls how people go through the park. Disney has what's called a loop layout, and it takes us through the entire park. In our presentations, we share how to set your sales floor so that shoppers see the entire store. The reason it's important to create and control is because 50% of a store's sales floor is never seen by shoppers. Now, some of you might be listening to that and think, oh, come on, I see the store. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You go in to buy whatever you went in there to buy. That's why the eggs and the milk are at the back of the store. And they hope that as they set the path, you'll see what's on those end caps and buy additional product. But the store has to be set to get people to flow through it. So in our presentations, we show exactly how to do that, how to build traffic flow, and how to set better displays. Because customers make value judgments inside stores within the first 10 seconds of entering. In 10 seconds, they're determining whether they like the place or they don't like the place, whether they're going to buy what they need, get out and leave, or whether they're ever going to come back. 10 seconds is very important. So just inside the front door of the store, maybe 10, 15 feet in, we place fixtures called speed bumps. It's that table there. We took the picture at Halloween. That's that table. So a speed bump does the same thing that speed bumps in parking lots do. It slows customers down. I'm coming in the mall, I'm pushing a stroller, I'm carrying bags, I'm looking around. It stops you and refocuses you on shopping. It's always new, hot, happening. We look at things like lakefront property, how to find the areas of your store that sell better than other areas. So Rich and I take the audience from the parking lot to the front door to the back door to every space in between, and we share proven strategies, tactics, tips, and techniques that every retailer can take to the bank. But looking at your own store is not enough. You have to look at your competitors too.
And you know, this applies to every business in the world that we're talking about. But yeah, you're right. Looking at the competitors, we have an exercise that's called "How Did It Feel?" And it's just what an anthropologist would do. What we do is we walked into a shopping mall, and George is walking next to me, and I said, "Look, there's a big store over there. I don't want to tell you which one it was, but it's a big store over there. George, here's $100 bill. I want you to get me a torque wrench. I want a torque wrench. Now I'm going to go to McDonald's and have a cup of coffee. So you have about 15 or 20 minutes, okay?
Great.
And then come on down to McDonald's."
Great.
So I'm sitting and I'm waiting and waiting. And finally, here comes George about 30 minutes later. I don't know. As she walks up, I notice she doesn't have anything in her hands except my $100 bill. I said, "What happened?" She goes, "Well, I walked in the store." She goes, "You know what? I found the tool department, but there was nobody in the tool department. So I read labels and looked and I couldn't find it. So what did you do?" She goes, "I walked over to the lady that's in a cash wrap area." And she goes, "Excuse me, but do you know what a torque wrench is?" And the young lady said, "No, I have no idea." And I said, "How'd that feel, George?" She goes, "I'm getting a little bit agitated." She goes, "Is there anybody in the store that can help me?" She goes, "Well, right over there in the hardware department will be the salespeople." She goes, "I know the hardware department where it is, but there's nobody there." And then the lady pointed to another gentleman and said, "Well, then if you want to go over and talk with him, I think he could help you." It was a full-time vacuum cleaning sales department. She walked over and said to him, "Excuse me, do you know what a torque wrench is?" He goes, "Of course I do." She goes, "Great, I need to buy one. Can you take me over to the hardware department and help me out?" And he said, "I'd like to, but I can't because it's not my department." And so often that happens in the world. And as consumer anthropologists, we say, guys, we create paradigms so easily that destroy the relationships of our customers because they're not the most important people in the world.
Oh, they are.
They are.
Here's the thing. If you don't know what it's like to shop at your competitor's store, then you can't really give customers the best service in your own store. So we recommend that people go out and look at both. I had a miserable experience. And 2 weeks later, it was my turn to pick the store for the How Did It Feel exercise.
Oh, geez.
So I sent Rich into Victoria's Secret. I said, "I want you to buy me a black lace underwire push-up bustier with 3-inch cookies. You got 20 minutes, $100, go."
No
and I went to
idea.
the food court. Yeah, I know. 20 minutes went by. Half an hour.
No.
Yes, 45.
Wasn't that long?
Finally, an hour and 20 minutes go by, and here comes Kizer walking towards me. He's got a big smile on his face and a new spring in his step. And I said, "What are you doing? I've been sitting here like a moron for the last hour and a half." He goes, "Look, I have no idea what you sent me in to buy, but I had a really good time."
It's educational.
Yeah. When can I do it again? It's all about how people feel in a store and in your business, how they feel when they come in contact with your brand, your marketing, anything. We have a favorite quote.
Angelou,
Maya Angelou.
and I just love her. She says, we've learned that people will forget what you said, and people will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel.
That's true.
And you know what that is? If that isn't the golden rule in business, I don't know what is. That's it in a nutshell.
So the big question is, we ask our audiences after a visit to your store, to your business, how do customers feel?
Yes.
Our focus as speakers is on helping them create thrilled customers. And we're proud to hear clients and attendees share how we inspired them to become even more successful. And we would love to do the same thing at your next meeting, market, expo, or convention.
And I hope you'll invite us.
I'm Georganne Bender.
And I'm Rich Kizer.
And we would love to speak at your next event.